I'm Corey Ranslem with Dryad Global. This week on the vlog, we are touching a subject that is active and happening right now. If you're a subscriber to our ARMS platform or our Channel 16, you get our MSTAs, you know that coming up on Saturday, March 18th, in just a couple of days, the grain deal between Ukraine, Russia, negotiated with the UN and Turkey is set to expire. The original deal was put in place back in July of 2022. It was extended again in November. So the expiration of this deal now is coming up here in mid-March. There's a number of things that have been happening with this and a lot of moving parts and a lot of things going on in the background. If you're a subscriber to our ARMS platform, you are seeing real-time updates of what's happening as far as with the grain corridor, with the movement in and out of these ports. So we thought this would be a great time for us to give you guys some background on what's happening with the grain deal and kind of where we're at right now. There's a number of industry organizations. One of the most vocal has been Intercargo. It's an industry organization, and they are really pushing to get this deal renewed. Currently, the grain deal is operating out of 3 ports that are in the Odessa region. And so far, this has been fairly successful. We've seen over the course of almost the last year, basically July till now here in March, we've seen close to 950 or just a little bit more than that vessel movements from the time of the recording of this vlog. There is still close to 30 million tons of grain that is sitting in silos in the Ukraine that the agricultural ministry says are ready to be exported. So there's still a tons of grain that needs to be exported. To give you a little bit of an idea, in 2021, the country of Ukraine exported roughly 86 million tons of grain. In 2022, and these numbers are current basically as of the end of February, there was roughly 54 million tons of grain that was harvested. So you can tell that from a record year in 2021, it was a tough year, obviously, with the war and the conflict happening. Only 54 million tons, and like I said, still 30 tons in the silo. A lot of experts believe right now, as far as the export goes, there's about 6 million tons a month of grain that's being exported from the 3 ports in the Odessa region. Experts believe if really a 4th port is added, and that's Mykolaiv, and I apologize for just probably butchering the pronunciation, it would add an additional 2 million tons a month. So the total export would be 8 million tons a month between basically these 4 ports within this region. This would also help another issue. And if you saw last week, we talked about the number of vessels and seafarers that are still stranded in Ukraine. There's roughly over 300 seafarers that are stranded across multiple ports because not every port in Ukraine is part of this grain deal. Like I said, there's the 3 ports in and around Odessa and the potential to add a 4th port. So there would be the potential to move 26 vessels in the 4th port. If it is added, that would really help to move vessels as far as that are stuck in the port. There's a big insurance issue with this as well. Some experts believe that the cost of with the number of ships and seafarers that are stranded in Ukrainian ports is roughly costing insurance companies to this point close to $500 million. That is a huge claim. So the insurance companies are really pushing to try to get more movement within this deal. Like I said, there's a number of things that are happening in back channel negotiations, as you know, that takes place with deals like this. And we're hoping that this will get resolved in a timely manner to continue the exports out of Ukraine. There's huge implications, as we saw last year into spring and early summer before this deal was put together, that there were a number of countries that were running out of food. This caused a huge issue in areas within Western Africa into parts of Asia where they were running out of food and the price of food inflated very rapidly. This has helped to ease that a little bit, but any issues within this deal could cause major problems to food supplies within countries that Ukraine exports to within this region. As we get more updates on this and this comes together, there's a very high probability within the next week or two as this settles down, we will provide updates to that. Like I said, if you're not a subscriber to our weekly MSTAs, that provides a great overview of what's happening globally from a maritime security perspective. Channel 16 is our real-time news service that provides real-time news updates on things that are happening in maritime. Those are both free services. And then our ARMS subscribers get real-time updates and analysis of global events. So if you have any questions of these, reach out to our experts here at Dryad Global.